What's going on, guys? I am Pat the Packman, and on this video, I want to tell you why you do not want to console, pet, or talk to a fearful dog. Listen, guys, I get it. When you see a dog that's fearful, it's automatic. Your heart goes out to them. But here's the thing you got to get, guys, is that the brain of a dog works differently than the brain of a human. But understand that there's a difference between these two brains. You have to get to the point where you need to understand how and what it is that you're communicating to your dog or to that specific dog. So if we're dealing with a fearful dog, here's the thing. If you are petting a dog or consoling a dog, what you are actually doing is you are reinforcing the state of mind that they're in at that moment. You have to learn to get out of your way to not let your own emotions project onto that dog. If you're telling your dog, it's okay, guess what? You're telling your dog it's okay to feel the way you're feeling at this moment. If you give your dog affection, thinking that you're consoling them, what you're actually doing is you're reinforcing the state of mind that they're in at that moment. You're giving them a reward for being and feeling fearful, nervous, anxious, or whatever. When you're trying to tell a dog it's okay, you're not rationalizing. If I'm telling a human or a child it's okay, there's a rational process there. That human, small or big, understands what I'm trying to communicate. But if you think about this logically, if somebody's afraid and you're telling them it's okay, does that take away their fear? I don't think so. Look, as a guy that was terrified of dogs until he was 28 years old, and people would tell me, it's okay, you don't have to be afraid, it never worked. If anything, I think it actually made me more fearful. So bottom line is, we have to understand the brain of a dog. We have to understand the psychology. We have to understand what we're communicating. When we are being that coddly and that reassuring, we are in a weak state. Guess what? They are in a weak state. So now we're both on the same page. This dog is saying, well, you're feeling just as weak as I am. You're feeling just as upset and sad and fearful and nervous and whatever as I am. Therefore, I guess the way I feel is appropriate. Not to mention, when you give all this affection, they're thinking, this is the way the human wants me to feel. Now, if you think about this logically, dogs want nothing more than to please us. So if you are saying it's okay to be fearful, or if you're rewarding that fear, that state of mind, then they're just gonna give you more of that. Does that make sense? So here's the thing, guys. Get out of your own emotional state. You gotta understand, and listen, I understand there's a lot of emotional people. You feel bad for a dog that's fearful, but guess what? You're not helping the situation. You gotta understand, fear is a lack of trust. A lack of trust in what? Whatever the lack of trust is. So if you think about this logically, by trying to negotiate, by trying to force this dog to trust you, for example, if we're dealing with a dog that is fearful of people, trying to negotiate that trust by giving them a treat or by reassuring them that you're not gonna hurt them. That's okay, I'm not gonna hurt you, here's a cookie. You know what that does? It basically tells that dog that you have no idea how they're feeling, you have no clue how to understand their emotions, therefore you can't help them. The trust goes down the drain. The only way you can build trust is by allowing that fear to disappear on its own. You have to show them that you are trustworthy by letting them realize that nothing is happening in a fearful scenario, that whatever it is that they perceive that's gonna happen. So bottom line, guys, do not under any circumstance talk to them. It's okay, pet them, don't do any of that stuff. I know you think it's helping, it's not. You're making it worse. So guys, don't be emotional. Remember, in order to overcome weakness, there has to be a source of strength. If you're weak and they're weak, there's no source of strength, who's winning? Who's the source of what here? So don't forget, do not nurture fear, do not nurture insecurity, do not nurture nervousness. No petting, no coddling, and definitely no, it's okay, baby. And also, don't start sticking treats in their faces. It ain't gonna do nothing. One of my passions is rehabilitating fearful dogs. You wanna know why? Because those dogs are suffering internally. And unless you understand that psychology, unless you understand what their brain is all about, and unless you understand how to communicate dog language, guess what? You are not helping them at all. Guys, remember, it's about training people, not training dogs. And if you wanna know more about it, let me know. I am Pat the Packman. Catch you guys next time. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more, make sure you wag your tail on over and bark at that subscribe button. This way you won't miss out on all the cool stuff that we post. In addition, you won't miss out on our podcast, Barking for Balance, which premieres every Thursday. Believe me, you don't want to miss out on that. It's really cool. Links down below on all podcast platforms. In addition, make sure you check us out on Facebook and Instagram. This way you don't miss out on all the content that we don't post on YouTube. In addition to staying up to date with all the cool stuff that we got going on. Remember, guys, it's about training people, not training dogs.